welcome back to Boston Public Radio. I'm Jim Browder. She's Margery. And we're live at the Fraser Studio, the beautiful Fraser Studio, I should say, at GBH on Guest Street. We're not at the library because of some technical problems. They should be fixed by Tuesday, assuming they are. Mayor Wu will join us from 11 to 12 on Tuesday for Ask the Mayor. And we've said this repeatedly. For the next few minutes, if you are not watching on youtube.com/GBH News and facebook.com/GBH News, you're really going to miss out. Trust me, because they're joined now by James Beard Award-winning chef, restaurateur, cookbook author Irene Li of Mei Mei Dumplings, and My Do, founder and chief instructor at Walam Kung Fu and Tai Chi Academy, as well as the co-founder and vice president of the United Dragon and Lion Dance Federation. They're hosting an event for Lunar New Year tomorrow at Mei Mei Dumplings in South Boston. For information and to book tickets, you can go to Mei Mei, M-E-I, Dumplings.com. And by the way, I should say, even though it's not the topic today, these are two of the most relentless and important social justice activists in our community. You really are. And we thank you for your work, your food, your dancing. Irene and Maya, it's great to see you both. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for coming in, and thanks everybody's coming who's going to dance for just a couple of seconds. So explain, Irene, for people that don't know, what's the Lunar New Year?
The Lunar New Year is probably the biggest celebration in many Asian cultures, and in my house growing up, Lunar New Year was, of course, all about dumplings. Big surprise. But it's
so she says, anyway.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you'll have to get my mom in here to fact check that. But at Mei Mei tomorrow, we are sold out, unfortunately, but we are going to have these incredible dancers, noodle pulling, dumpling making, lantern crafting. We really want to get everyone excited about this holiday, which in many parts of the country, the celebration, and the world rather, the celebration lasts for weeks. So any excuse to party and eat dumplings in the depths of February.
How many lion dance performances are you doing over the next couple of days, Mai?
More than 10, but within the 3 weeks, we're booked for more than 60.
More than 60.
Oh my God.
So I assume, right, I hope everybody has seen a lion dance, either in Chinatown. Have you in person?
I don't think so.
Oh my God.
So
are you
here
in
we
for a
are.
treat? We're going to see it in a minute. Explain what it is and explain who these wonderful kids are.
So the lion dance has its roots with the mythic story of the lions being sacred and then invited from the mountains to come and bless a community where when it comes down and dance, it has this magic from the third eye, which is the sixth chakra, and it's going to drive away all evil energy, bad, toxic buildup and stagnation, and just clear out everything, bring in good energy, auspicious, good health, successes, blessings, prosperity, and longevity. So we always see the lion dance at every celebratory event, particularly Lunar New Year celebration.
Okay.
And who are the kids?
We're going to feel much better at the end of the lion dance than we are now then,
so
right?
Definitely.
Tell us a little bit about who these kids are, young people are, who are performing both on the drums, the dance, the whatever. Who are these people?
We're incredibly excited. So we have members of the Walam Kung Fu and Tai Chi Academy performance troupe here. Our youngest member here is 7 years old, and she started at the age of 4. And our oldest are college students now, and they started at 3. And they are just excited to be here. Some of them have taken the day off to celebrate Lunar New Year, and others have learned about this opportunity to be with the Jim and Margery show, Boston Public Radio. So they're like, we want to be on radio and perform what we love. They're so passionate, and they work so hard. So we're thrilled to be here.
Before they perform, but I don't know if you know this, I know a couple of women, grown women now, who when they were in single digits, they actually went to Walam Kung Fu. Do you know who they are, My Do?
I think so. I think they're Mimi and Sia, your
Yes, they were.
daughters.
My daughters, when they were little kids, went to Walam, and Sifu Bob and you, and when you were a younger woman, taught them. And boy, did they love this thing, participated in the lion dance and all that kind of thing. And you know when you met Mai, I don't know, oh, actually, you had left already. We had the honor to be at Helen Chin's 90th birthday in Quincy. The great, great, great Helen Chin, who's been hugely important to GBH in addition to everything else.
Certainly, yes.
Yep.
And
she's a legend.
The lion dance starts, and a guy sitting at my table, Paul Watanabe from UMass, says, you really got to meet the woman who's running this thing. You'll love her. You'll love her. And who was it but you? After 20 years, we were reunited.
That was so great, and I was thrilled to hear about Mimi and Sia's life right now, and to reconnect. I mean, Mimi and Sia was a part of the Fetch with Ruff the Ruffman, and we were in that segment together talking about lion dance and the background of it. So that was
So
full
tell us
circle
what we're
back.
going to see. We'll see it. Tell us what we're going to see right now.
So what you're going to see will be our 4 lions played by our youth team members. And they're going to be showing their strength and character, the spirit of the lion, and of course, they're going to bring the magic to clear out the space and really bring in all the auspicious energy. And I think they'll have a surprise for you, Jim and Margery.
I hope so.
During that performance, and they're going to show what it is that they love doing best during Lunar New Year.
Great. And by the way, again, run to youtube.com/GBH News, even on your phone, or facebook.com/GBH
So you
News
can see
right
this.
now. And here they are. That was spectacular.
Absolutely. Do you
Oh
want
my
to,
God.
you want to explain, just for listeners who may not have been able to
The
watch?
fools who did not go on YouTube
Yeah.
or Facebook. Describe a little what we just saw in my do.
So you see the lions here in different colors. Red and gold are the really prominent colors for the Lunar New Year celebration because of its high yang vibration. So you see our uniforms in gold and red. But the lions here, they came, they blessed the place. In gratitude of that, they were fed oranges and lettuce, and also they brought you guys gifts.
Yes,
We
they
have
did.
a teeny
and-
tiny orange.
Yeah, so the orange is blessings and gold and fortune, and of course the green, which you will always see during lion dancing as well, represents longevity and health and wealth. So we have it all here.
And by the way, one more thing. Other than going to May tomorrow, but sold out, so they can't even see the damn lion dance. Where can people go to see you and your people perform over the next week or so?
I would say the biggest venue that we're going to be involved in is the MFA, so the Museum of Fine Arts, on February 15th. And at that event, we usually perform the lion dance and kung fu because we're a martial arts school as well. But this year, it will be so special because for the first time, we're going to be doing the dragon dance in honor of the Year of the Dragon. So don't miss out at the Museum of Fine Arts. I believe we're on at 5:30 and 7:20, 2 shows.
That's fantastic.
Fabulous. We're talking to Mai Du from Walum Kung Fu and Tai Chi and Irene Li from Meme Dumplings.
So let's get back to the dumplings for a second, because
First of all, where the hell are they? That's the first question.
They're coming.
What
They're
happened?
coming.
They're on
en
their
route.
way.
They
They're
are?
on their way.
Is
Don't
that
worry.
true on their way? Is that
Yes,
true? Okay,
yes.
good.
But I heard you doing the podcast with my dear friend and a frequent guest here, Shirley Young, and she talked about how dumplings in her life growing up were such an important thing for the whole family, to learning to make dumplings. So give us a little background on why dumplings are significant this time of year.
Well, I think growing up in a Chinese American family, learning to make dumplings is a rite of passage. And making a dumpling that is to the liking of your intense Chinese mom or grandma is part of that rite of passage. But the dumplings and being stuffed with delicious filling are symbolic of bags of money and wealth. And so the more you can make, the more you can eat, the more wealthy and prosperous we believe that you'll be in the new year. And of course, you can make and eat even more if you have a big group of friends and family around you. So it's the perfect celebratory activity as well.
You know what I got a kick out of it? You're both talking. Shirley, her parents came here from Taiwan. You're talking about growing up in a Chinese American family, about how your grandparents might not be sure about your chosen profession, that you're not an engineer.
Just two slackers.
Yeah. And I mean, your whole family has been usually successful. So what do you think your grandparents would be making of you now?
I'm sure they would still have things to say about the quality of our dumpling folding. But we certainly like to think that our grandparents would be proud of what we're doing. We've taken the legacy that they've created, which is all about love and hospitality, and tried to push that forward in new ways.
By the way, we have mentioned your latest book, which you're on with us about, which I was using just this weekend.
Oh my
Perfectly
gosh.
Good Food, a totally achievable zero-waste approach to home cooking.
Yeah.
I was skeptical at first. It is fabulous. It's
Oh my
funny and
goodness.
fabulous. You know, Irene, I cannot believe you are not pitching. I went to your place about a month ago, and I got dumplings, and by the way, some really unusual ones, which I
Yes.
love. And Maya is nodding in agreement. She probably has more expertise than I. I had a cheeseburger on a scallion pancake. Am I right? Did I get that
You
right?
are correct,
One of
yeah.
the best things I ever had
Oh
in
my
my
goodness.
life.
Well,
Talk about it.
There are a couple of those en route. The cheeseburger scallion pancake I had nothing to do with and thought was a
Oh.
crazy idea. And then I came in and had one, was like, oh, snap.
So whose
I
idea
guess we
was
can
it?
keep these on the menu.
Whose idea was it?
You know, I think it was my baby cousin, Devin, who runs the classes and culinary side of our business. And if I leave him alone for too long, he does this wacky stuff. So I was thrilled to find out that it was actually a delicious addition to the menu. And we've gotten great compliments on it, and we have some on the way for the team to try.
Fabulous. By the way, and it's cheap. Is it okay to say cheap, or you're not? That's not the word
Sure,
you use.
yeah.
It's
Inexpensive,
cheap.
inexpensive.
It really is cheap. Can I change the topic for just a second? I don't mean to be a
Certainly.
downer here, but I mentioned the political activism you did. We talked a lot during the time of Trump and Kung Flu and this other racist crap about how anti-Asian American, anti-Asian hate in this country exploded. I know you did training for some self-defense training for people, who particularly older people. Has that abated? Is the anti-Asian animus in this country on the wane, or is it still as much of a problem as it was a year or two ago?
Unfortunately, it is still as much of a problem. And in fact, it heightened during the pandemic simply because of all the Trumpism that's happening around us. And during that time, so many seniors, not just seniors, but I will say particularly seniors, were so scared to even leave their home to go to grocery stores or see their families. And so I just felt the need to do something about it. And my team and myself, we did a lot of free community self-defense training. And many thanks to the Boston Foundation Asian Community Fund,
good
as
for
well
them.
as the AAPI Commission of Massachusetts funded us to do some more. So we're still doing those training in different parts of the state simply because we hear that folks are wanting to have this training to feel more empowered and to have a little bit of peace of mind.
Is there what's your sense, Irene, of the state of things on that front now? Do you share Mai's feeling that it's still a serious problem?
I think, unfortunately, even though we may be seeing less of it in the headlines, at a community level, there is still a lot of fear. And we're hoping to host Mai for some self-defense classes at
great.
May
Oh,
later this
fabulous.
year.
Talked about that, yeah.
That's great.
And I think so much of why we do these cultural events and why we try to empower people to feel proud is so that they can have a sense of agency about their identity. So whether it is folding dumplings, defending yourself, feeling like you can walk down the street safely, I think all of that is how we kind of take pride in our culture and where we come from.
Okay, Irene Li, I want you to tell people about, Jim mentioned your book, but the premise being using food that is about to go bad.
Yes.
You know, I think I heard on the podcast, maybe I read it, that you boil the spinach.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know you could freeze fresh baby spinach.
Isn't that wild?
Yes.
You just throw it straight in the freezer.
It's a life changer.
And whenever you need some, it's there for you.
Yeah, but tell people the premise of the book and the title of it.
Of course. So perfectly good food. And I should say, especially as we're talking about Chinese New Year, the book is about zero waste, but it's also drawing on lots of cultural traditions from all over the world where zero waste it's just called cooking because you don't have enough to go around. And so certainly in Chinese cuisine, there are many dishes that utilize offcuts, scraps, odds and ends, and kind of wringing every bit of flavor that you can out of a dish. And so the book really draws on more modern techniques and modern technology, using the vast array of ingredients that we have available to us and helping you save money, waste less food, and have more fun, really.
Yeah, what's it called?
It's called Perfectly Good Food, a zero waste approach to home cooking.
I have big vats of spinach in my freezer now that I'm ready to pull out little by little for your smoothie or your spinach salad, or wherever you're going to do it.
So let's talk about the most important thing, I think, on the agenda today. You were here, is that correct? Yes.
Yes.
Were you the boss at Maymay Dumplings?
No, thank goodness.
What do you mean you're not the boss? You are the boss, of course.
Well, I'm the co-founder, and we started out as a food truck with my big brother and
we
big
know
sister.
That, yes, we met them all.
And I now have two managing partners who run all of the details of the business, Annie Campbell and Alyssa Lee.
Well, so is that your excuse as to why the dumplings are not here when you were here? There's got to be some reason.
Oh yeah,
for this.
that's
It's
definitely
their fault.
it, for
It's
sure.
the two of them.
There's not traffic between here and South Boston.
She got here, did she not? Okay, I'm going to do one more thing before I go. I'm sorry to bring politics into this because I know you. Are you willing to talk for a minute about this curriculum thing that you've been working on so hard, or you don't want to do that today?
I would love the
Do you
opportunity.
mind
Yes.
talking for a
in
second?
fact, it's very much related to Lunar New Year celebration. Our team has been in many schools, Quincy, Braintree, Boston, and you name it, and to do celebration. But it's really an effort to uplift the students' life experiences and to embrace and really recognize their heritage and who they are and that they belong. And so it's incredible to see Asian American students in their schools celebrating the biggest holiday for their families, which is a part of what my life's work is to promote and advocate for racially inclusive curriculum. I'm very much devoted to this work with the CARE Coalition, and we're trying to pass legislation to promote racially inclusive curriculum for K-12 schools.
Didn't a member of your coalition ask, I just realized, the governor at the library question about
actually
that?
a youth, Alejandro.
Oh, it was Alejandro, that's right.
And then also Mona asked the governor, and yes.
If people want to find out more about that campaign, what do they do?
Yes, please log into careforequity.org, care, C-A-R-E, number four, equity.org. Yes, and we hope that legislative leaders will move that out of committee. S288 H542.
Okay, before you go, you're on the hook too. You just came back from Washington.
I did,
for a
yeah.
campaign around Well, explain what you were doing in Washington.
Sure. So I was in Washington attending a Lunar New Year celebration at the VP's house, and also
Oh, what?
Yeah, and meeting with the Department of Labor and the EEOC to talk about the minimum wage in the United States and the tipped minimum wage, which I believe in Massachusetts is $6.75 an hour. And at Maymay, we pay one fair wage, so everyone makes at least the full minimum wage, which is $15, and we do tips on top of that.
That's great.
And the conversation is so complicated and layered and varies from state to state and restaurant to restaurant. And so I would love to come in and talk about it more, but
Let's do it.
We do support one fair wage, and we think that that is the direction that the industry is moving in, and it's going to be an interesting set of conversations.
Okay, before you go, do you think dumplings are good for Super Bowl food or not? We're going to talk about the Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're putting dumplings in pizza boxes and sending them all over the city for the Super Bowl.
Are you really?
So can't wait. Yes.
And how do we find your place? How do we find Walam Kung Fu if people want to participate in that? They're my dude.
WalamAcademy.org.
.com is correct. It's great to see you both. Happy New
thank
Year.
you
We're really
both.
glad you're
That
here.
was such
And
a
tell
thrill
your-
to
yeah,
watch
oh
those
my God, it
kids.
was
They were,
great.
and young adults, I should say. That
They were
was
fabulous.
fantastic.
Thank
And
you
I
for
think I
having us.
feel much less toxic energy now, Jim, don't you?
I feel about
good.
the same amount, but I'm just, that's who I am, you know? It's,
Oh,
You're
you're
going to
orange
have
and
to
see
get
how
all
you
the
feel.
lions to
Thank you.
kind of surround you later.
Thank you very, very much for your time, and that was a special treat. We've been
It's great
listening
to
and
see you
watching
both.
a
Thank you.
lion
Appreciate
dance
it.
from performers from the
were
Walloon Kung Fu and Tai Chi.
by the way, that'll be online later tonight, I assume, for those who didn't watch it
Yes.
live. I'm sorry, okay.
Yes. We talk with founder and chief instructor Mai Du, as well as author and James Beard award-winning chef Irene Li from Maymay Dumplings. They got an event tomorrow. It's sold out for the Lunar New Year, so I guess but I'll give information anyway. If you want to book tickets or go on a future thing or check it out, it's maymaydumplings.com. That's MEIMEI, maymaydumplings.com.
Thanks to you
Thank
both.
you so much for coming in.
Great to